I'm you from another dimension. What the hell? Where am I? Why am I in a different shirt? What the hell's going on? Where the hell's my Sonic collection? Wait a second. No, wait, a different dimension? Wait, that was all real? This can't be happening. I gotta check outside. What the hell? Where's the Applebee's? Where's the Walmart? What the hell is going on here? I gotta get the hell out of here. What the hell is this? There's no Sonic anywhere. There's not even Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs. I checked. You know I don't drink coffee, you asshole. Anyway, I gotta figure out how to... Wait, what the hell did you say to me? What the hell are you doing here? I thought that this was a dimension with no Sonic. Wait a second. Are you telling me that this universe has another cappuccino? Now that sounds more like the cappuccino I know. So anyway, a Fez Jet from another universe showed up in my universe and told me he was going to send me back to his dimension. And now I'm here. Yeah, I don't know. That gun really looked more like the Nerf gun I bought off of a street vendor in New York City for my Sonic Games on the Game Gear video that Sonic used to kill me. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, he used that interdimensional doohickey thing to send me here. So, how do I get back? Alright, what kind of research are we talking about here? Quantum physics? Okay. Now, wait a second. Why are you helping me out here? No offense, but historically, Cappuccino has been kind of an asshole. Interesting. So, wait a second. You're saying in my universe, there's 2 assholes there right now? That's one too many asshole. You know, looking at video games usually solves my problems. Sort of, actually. It looks like I'm gonna have to go against the grain here. I'm gonna have to actually look at non-Sonic games. But how exactly do we define a Sonic knockoff? I'll have to ask a trusted associate. Okay, so when I say knockoffs, I don't mean shit like this. This is diabolical. I mean games that have taken some kind of inspiration from Sonic in one way or another. Whether that be gameplay, art design, character design, or any of that other good stuff. They're not in any chronological order either. The order is based entirely on vibes. So if it just so happens that a character looks like this, it's probably fair game. Fuck, it doesn't fit. There's gotta be a better way than this. Luckily, there is. Who said that? Don't worry about it, champ. I'm worrying about it. We're starting off with Spark the Electric Jester. I mean, duh. It's the game that people said would kill the Sonic franchise. It didn't, but it is really good. Starting with the first game, we hear some amazing music and some amazing visuals. We start off only being able to use Spark. Spark is a jester who has a real tough time holding a job. Now, this is because robots have been taking over people's jobs for years. You know, it's crazy that our world is kind of starting to look like that. He finally got a job he enjoyed, until a robot version of himself named Fark takes his job. Spark learns that Fark is a part of a much bigger robot army trying to take over the world. Spark fights back, trying to save the world, but mostly get his job back. You fight a ton of robots and use a huge variety of upgrades to do it. Some of them provide better mobility, and some of them have ranged attacks. Personally, I always use the ones that give mobility, like double jumping. The edgy power is my favorite. It's so quick. There's a ton of content here. Each level can take a while. Spark only has so much health and heals by picking up these orange things. You can get a lot of them by killing enemies. Anyway, Spark beats the big bad guy Freon with a little bit of help from his robot counterpart Fark. He goes and turns into Super Jester, which... Okay, seriously, Supersonic? Come on, guys. He uses Super Jester to fight Freon again at... Hey, wait a second. Look at his shoes. That's Shadow! Anyway, upon beating the game, you unlock Fark's story. He goes through the same levels as Spark, but with his own gameplay. Fark doesn't have any Jester powers, but he does have a charge bar and can parry enemy attacks. When the charge bar is full, you can use it to either turn invincible and heal yourself, or turn into Super Jester. Super Jester runs out if you get hit even one time. Fark does follow a different story than Spark, but it isn't canon. There's also Spark Challenge, where Spark goes through Fark's story with only one hit point. Wishes mode allows you to pick any Jester mode right from the start. Spark's Challenge recommends having Wishes mode on, but it isn't required. Finally, there are special challenges. Now, I didn't bother with any of these. I desperately wanted to go and play the second game, but beating these does give you Super Jester in Wishes mode, which is pretty cool. But there's plenty of cool stuff, like beating levels without letting your speed get too low, or beat a level without touching the floor. That kind of stuff. The game is pretty well made. It isn't perfect, and it could use some polish, but it's a pretty damn good platforming game with some cool ideas. The music is damn good too, and the art design is spectacular. The only issues I have with the game are that the writing takes itself a bit too seriously, and the jokes feel like they're kinda trying too hard sometimes. But I would rather the story take itself too seriously than whatever the hell Sonic Colors gave us.
Baldy nose hair! That's the best thing I've heard all day!
Spark definitely does feel like a Sonic knockoff in personality though, but Sonic from the adventure years. A lot of the levels do go on for a really long time too, and they never feel speedy enough either. Although, a lot of the levels do reward skill with being able to go fast, which is the best way to do this kind of game. Overall, Spark 1 is really good. I absolutely recommend playing this game. Not as much as I recommend playing Spark 2 though. Spark the Electric Jester 2. A banger. I actually had to record this a couple of times because the first time I used Steam Record, since I record on my MacBook, and there were just so many issues with that I finally decided to just go the old-fashioned way and record with OBS. Amateur hour over here. I didn't realize the bitrate on my recording was way too low, so that the recording looked like this. This is actually why my Sonic Riders recordings back in the day looked pretty grainy too. Now, I didn't think it was a huge issue at the time, but Spark recordings looked really bad. Finally, beating myself up for making two stupid mistakes, I played the game again, using OBS and having a much higher bitrate. The game looks so much better, but because I already played the game twice, this time I only recorded what I needed in the moment for the video. I have enough to talk about it anyway. So after all of that effort, if you guys don't subscribe, I will find you. And I will kill you. That's not a threat, or really a promise either, because YouTube probably wouldn't like that. But I mean, come on, look at these numbers, man, I can't have this. Spark the Electric Jester 2 takes place sometime after the first game. After Spark saved the world, Fark is still looking for meaning. Dr. Armstrong has been taking care of Fark. Fark points out that Fark isn't his real name, and the doctor says he can search Fark's code for his real name. Before he can do that though, another Jester comes in and kidnaps the doctor. Fark travels through these levels, which are now in 3D, to find the doctor. This game is incredibly fast-paced, which sometimes it's honestly kind of too fast-paced. You're able to double jump, dash, wall jump, use attacks, charge attacks, and some other super dash I never used besides in the tutorial. Fark follows this new Jester, fights random boss battles along the way, and tries his absolute best to make it to the doctor. He finds these guys along the way, and all three of them are boss battles at some point. He meets this girl in Romalo too, who also happen to be boss battles when they find out Fark was made by Freon. Oh yeah, and Freon's back. Anyway, you get to the end of the game, and you fight Freon. You beat him, meet his real body, Fark gets a new and improved body, and wins another fight against another Freon clone. And that's it for Spark 2. It's very clearly different from Spark 1. This shit is fast-paced and feels a lot like the new Sonic formula from Frontiers and Shadow Generations. It's almost a mix of boost and adventure formulas. You can also find art throughout the stages if you look, and you can find all of the art that you found in the menu. But if you don't want to look for them all, you can just use your bits that you collect throughout the game as currency to go and buy random art from the store. Here you can buy a bunch of cool stuff, or switch out Jester powers without having to find them in levels. The levels have lots of room for exploration, and different paths paths to take if you venture off the most immediate path. There are a ton of different ways to finish a level. I mean, it's really up to you. While Sonic Forces has a couple different shortcuts here and there, in Spark 2, you can go an entirely different way. The game feels great, but it does have some room for improvement. When you're moving really fast, controlling Fark feels like shit. Turning is hard and kills a lot of momentum. When you're going fast on tight pathways, you can very easily fall off. This actually incentivizes dashing, which is typically slower than dash pads or just momentum, to go through loop-de-loops or running up walls just because it's easier to control. Now, I am all for rewarding skill, but with Fark, sometimes it's absolute bullshit. Speaking of Fark, I really liked playing as him in Spark 1. He was a really fun and different take on the gameplay, but his personality is so boring as the main character. Where Spark is fun and witty, Fark takes situations seriously, and that's fine sometimes, but it feels so uptight when he's the main character. The bosses are also pretty easy. I mean, sometimes they catch you off guard, but all you have to do is parry their moves. Most boss attacks aren't too hard at all to parry. The Jester powers here are also pretty cool. The edgy power lets you dash multiple times in the air, while the power armor lets you dash longer in the air. They all have something different to bring to the table, but those two are my favorites for platforming. The levels are also gorgeous. Some of them are so difficult to play that they're not even fun, like Apocalypse Thruster, where you constantly fall off because Fark just cannot turn while running. But most levels are an absolute blast. There are also medals you can unlock. You can get a gold medal or a diamond medal for beating certain times and scores. You also have tour mode, where you get options to play the game through without dying once, and stuff like that. Also, the screen after levels is totally designed after Sonic Adventure 2. Can't fool me. Spark 2 is a perfect way to transition into 3D, fast-paced platforming. But you know what's even better than 2? I'll give you some time to think about the joke I was setting up. See if you can guess it. It's a real doozy. This joke is meant for only the intellectual types, the real Einsteins of our society. Call me a comedian because I was cooking with this one. Hey, I'll be here all week, fellas. Well, you got it? I can give you more time. Nah, you got it. All right, everyone. What's better than 2? It's an aneurysm! Ha ha! Wait a second, that doesn't make sense. Do I have my paper or what? Oh, no, there it is. It's 3. 3's better than 2. Kind of a lame joke. I was expecting something more amazing, but alright, I guess if that's it, then I'll just go play some Spark 3 then. Holy shit, this is amazing. Spark 3 is by far the best game in the franchise. Hell, this is probably one of the greatest platforming games I have ever played. It's an actual masterpiece. Why Sega hasn't hired this man is beyond me. The game looks so much better, and the models are so much cleaner. Just look at Spark. I mean, look how cool he is. Spark 3 starts with Spark. Finally, he's telling the story of how the line he waited on at the bank was too long. So he went off to go defeat Fark. Oh yes, Fark. He started the Fark Force, whose whole thing is taking down the internet. Why? We don't know yet. Spark goes on to fight a couple of boss fights, loses to this guy called the Guardian, and meets Float. Float interrupts Spark's burger, and she demands to come with him. Float was actually a boss battle from Spark 2 where you kill her, so this is a very confusing turn of events. Spark and Float get all the way to the end of the game and get challenged by the Guardian again. Spark wins and proceeds on, getting to the end where you meet Fark. Fark weirdly says he'll take down the Fark Force without much argument, but we come to find out that all life on Earth has been killed and replaced with data versions of themselves. And that's including Spark. He's been a program for thousands of years now, doing the same run over and over. Spark and Fark team up to take down the AI called Clarity, and Spark takes over as the program. We even get to see a fusion of the two as Sparks. Spark takes over the program, and Fark ventures off into the world to find any living people. The ending comes out of nowhere. Though it is a bit foreshadowed in Spark 2 when Fark is told not to trust Clarity, the ending of this game is really the most substantial bit of story in the Spark franchise. The rest of the story has been kind of nothing. And you know what? That's fine. I'm here for the gameplay. So, how is the gameplay? It's one of the greatest platformers I have ever seen. if that means anything. It builds on the second game. The best part of Spark 3 is having more control over Spark than you did over Fark in the second game. When running down tight paths, you can actually stop yourself from falling off from going too fast. The controls are tight and feel great, and the combat is another highlight. In Spark 2, it was just too easy. In the levels, you can just dodge all enemies, and then for bosses, just parry whenever their attack comes. The attacks in Spark 2 very occasionally caught me by surprise, but they were usually easy enough to handle. In Spark 3, there are now different kinds of attacks. Red indications are attacks you're able to parry, yellow means you can't parry it, so you're gonna have to dodge, and green means they're gonna grab you, so you have to tap A to get out. Not knowing what kinds of attacks will come your way is already hard enough, but there are usually multiple enemies around you, all doing different kinds of attacks. The boss fights are harder than the second game, but even just in the levels, there are times when everything stops and you're forced to fight a group of enemies. Now, usually these are pretty easy, but you can easily get caught off guard, especially when different enemies do different kinds of moves all at the same time. The levels themselves, though, are amazing. I said before in Spark 2 that you have multiple ways to get through a level, but here it feels almost infinite. Some of the levels are almost open zone, with plenty of different places to hide medals. Medals replaced the art from the second game, and now it's just a collectible to find throughout the game. You can also, yet again, get time and score bonuses that are gold and diamond. The stages are just wonderfully put together and incentivize exploration with collectibles and just some fun platforming. Just look at the second stage. You can either move forward in the intended way or turn around and go get some bits. If you manage to jump across the pit, you'll find a bunch of platforms that also have a bunch of goodies you can pick up. The stages themselves are also just beautiful. That same stage, for example, sees green forests at first, before completely changing the scene and switching to a fiery hell. Each level is so unbelievably well put together. This is some serious talent. Also, there's a new grinding mechanic. Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2, whatever. You're able to speed up by crouching, and you can also switch between rails. The whole grinding thing gets really fast sometimes. There are also different kinds of levels that all branch off of the 7 main stages. Sometimes they're extra levels showing you more of the scenery. Sometimes there's small jumping or falling challenges, and sometimes there's a few medal collecting stages. My favorites are the timed ones. The last level, Utopia Shelter, is really cool too. It gives you 11 lives and promises that it will push every skill you've learned throughout the game. The first time I played Utopia Shelter, I died. The second time, somehow I didn't lose a single life, but it did take me 30 minutes to beat. That is insane for a platforming level for a kind of game that moves this fast. Float is also a playable character here, and honestly, I think that she's just a better Spark. She moves just as fast as he can and controls just as good, but she can float throughout the air. Spark, on the other hand, can't float, but he does have access to powers from the shop that Float doesn't have. Oh yeah, and the shop. You can use bits you collect throughout the game to buy new moves, powers, and Jester powers. The Jester powers are mostly other characters. You can unlock Reaper Jester, which is a genuine Jester power, Float, Fark, and Sparks. Float can float, as previously mentioned, and Fark can dash twice through the air and heal himself in a different way than Reaper. I genuinely don't know what purpose Sparks has though. He's just a worse Spark. If I'm missing anything and you guys know, please let me know. The vehicles in this game are also super fun. The driving levels control really great. The 2 levels where you're in a drone are kind of fun, and this mech suit boss battle is fucking awesome. I do kind of wish there were more driving levels though. The creator of this game did go on to make a racing game called Extreme Formula. I played it a little bit and went on from doing terribly to getting first place. It is fun, and it's a lot like F-Zero, but I really wish there was a game with the driving mechanics and feeling from Spark 3. Also, after you beat the game, you unlock every single level from Spark 2. They're a lot more straightforward and quick, so rushing to beat them is pretty fun. With unlocking every single level from the second game, there's really no need to ever play the second game ever again. Playing the same tight runways with better controls in the third game feels amazing. You can actually get through them without dashing the entire time. The one thing that doesn't translate so well is falling, because in the second game, there's no fall damage, so you can drop however far you want. In this game though, there is fall damage that can very quickly kill you. This changes how you can platform through a lot of levels of Spark 2, especially the tower level. However, you do fall less now that you have better controls. so it works out, I guess. You also can't parry and run at the same time anymore, making a lot of these mass groups of projectiles harder to get around. You can't win them all, I guess. After beating all of those levels, you unlock something called Endless Dive. This is endless battles against enemies. It's tough, and sometimes they have timers too. So make sure to stay safe and heal as much as you can. If you can make it to floor 101, you'll unlock a boss fight against Freon Mark 0. Now, I made it to floor 30-something and gave up. This game took me so long to get through that I wasn't about to keep fighting here. But here's a clip from Sonic Dragon for the fight. He is way better at the combat than I am, so go check him out. I didn't even know you could do half of this shit. Oh, and this credit scene inspired by Friday Night Funkin' goes hard as hell. It's been a really long time since I felt giddy about playing a game like this. Sonic Frontiers did it for me a little bit, but I'm sorry, Spark 3 is way better than Sonic Frontiers. The art design, level design, graphics, combat, and controls all come together beautifully here. I can't recommend a game more than Spark 3. If you're into platformers, you've got to get this absolute fucking masterpiece of a game. And while you're at it, give the others by this guy a try too. Spark 3 is the highlight though. It seriously can't get any better than that. Spark 3 is amazing. Oh, but hey, anyway, nice cappuccino. How's that doohickey come along? Dude, I just spent hours playing Spark. How much more time do you need? I mean, I can try, but if Spark was that good, I can't even imagine a Sonic knockoff being that bad. Oh, come on, what the hell is that? Taiwan Coolfox, the older, cooler brother of Tails. I totally didn't pick this game because it can be beaten in under 2 hours and I wanted to return it. No, that's not what happened at all. Starting off the game, something doesn't quite look right here. You can pick between Boy Fox and Girl Fox. I didn't bother learning their names. Getting right into the game, it looks like I'm in the test level of Sonic Adventure 2. I'm not sure why the game looked like this. I play on a virtual machine on my MacBook, so I can record and edit everything right on the MacBook. But no other game has ever looked quite like this. I mean, you saw how Spark ran. It looked just fine. I played Coolfox on my Steam Deck for a few minutes after this, and it looked just fine. So it must have been the virtual machine. But it is pretty weird that it's just this game that looked weird. Anyway, you play as this Tails' older brother looking dude, and you fight your way through enemies. Now, for me, this usually meant fighting giant white hitboxes. There's no actual story here. Based on the trailer on Steam, it's just him protecting somebody from asshole monkeys, which is a lot like Cappuccino from my universe. You battle your way through incredibly easy fights until you reach the boss battle. Some of these boss battles caught me off guard. This gorilla's attack patterns are weird, dude. And fighting against the pirate dude was tough solely because of the dark screen the game gave me. This was absurd, but it kind of felt like film noir, so it was a teensy bit cool. Coolfox. Get it? Anyway, the 6th level looked like this, and eventually was just a black screen. I tried kicking to show my foot's hitbox to see if it would create some kind of light, but it didn't help at all. I decided to give up on this game right here and return it. Besides the glaring visual issues that I had, the game just isn't worth anyone's time, and it definitely wasn't worth the $25 it costs. They definitely took some inspiration from Tails just to get a few extra sales. The game works, I mean it functions, but I swear I had more fun playing Charlie's Angels on the GameCube. Steer clear of this one. There are way better beat-em-ups than this one. So that was a game I picked solely out of design choice. But let's go back to gameplay choices. And I know just the game. Rollin Rascal is a banger of a game. You play as a rascal, one of these guys. Currently, there's only a demo available, but there is plenty of content here. In single player, there's only 2 stages right now, and the first stage doesn't have any cutscenes like the second one does. The second level is also just a better level than the first one, but they're both peak anyway. You're able to run, jump, air dash, do this downward kick thing, and turn into a roly-poly. When you're rolling, you maintain speed a lot easier. The game is all about momentum. You want to strive to hit high speeds to go further. It's a whole lot of fun. There's also a homing attack you can do to enemies. Now, I've seen that one before. You can also rebuild your health with these little blue triangle things too, but you rarely ever get hit. And the second level has a boss fight that isn't too difficult. Both of the levels are decently long. I did really bad in the first level, and I was trying to explore some more. so it took me about 20 minutes. But the second level took me about 10. Now, I know 2 levels doesn't sound like very much, but there's also multiplayer exclusive levels. There's the multiplayer lobby, which is cool and all. You can go real fast here, but when you go to select levels, there's actually 4 of them there. They're meant to be races against other players, but you can play them just by yourself. But because they're meant for racing, half of them are bullshit by themselves. The water level is really cool looking, but it's pretty simple. Now that's not necessarily bad, but it's not great here. But this candy level is literally a circle. The other 2 multiplayer levels are really cool though. The one with giant floaties is absolutely peak gaming. And there's also a ton of customization that you can give to your Rascal. There's also a time attack option too. But like, isn't it always kind of a time attack? I mean, they're levels with an emphasis on speed. Just do it like Spark with more time medals. Overall, the game is really cool, and it looks fantastic for not even being released yet. Go give it a look, especially when it's just a free demo. Alright, let's see. What else did ChatGPT give me? Crumble, like Crumble Cookie. Yeah, sort of. Crumble is a game where you play as a blue blob. Is there any kind of story here? I couldn't say. But you get dropped out of a spaceship and you just kind of get going. You roll, jump, and stick out your tongue onto surfaces so you can platform. It's not exactly as much of a Sonic knockoff as the other games were, but it is momentum based. It's definitely more into the platforming potential of the stage itself. Sticking your tongue to things is your only platforming option. Still, when you get going, you go fast. The tongue allowing you to swing is just icing on the cake. I got pretty lucky. I got this game 70% off. Now, unlike Taiwan Coolfox, I will not be returning this one. Hey, Cappuccino! I finished the 4th game. Well, kind of the 6th game because Spark was 3 games, but that's neither here nor there. What's going on with you, my man? And then I'll be back in my own dimension again? Man, that's crazy. I'll be back with asshole Cappuccino again. I'm gonna miss you, man. Well, maybe we should go hang out before I go back. Oh shit! What is that? Right on, Cappuccino. What was it called again? Penny's Big Day or something? I'm not quite sure why her big day was so special. I had the best day ever. Oh, it's Penny's Big Breakaway. That makes more sense. Penny's Big Breakaway. First game with a girl main character. It's about time. Although we don't actually know who the blob was from Crumble, but whatever. Penny's Big Breakaway follows Penny, who finds a flyer saying she can perform with Emperor Eddie at the upcoming gala. She cuts the line like an absolute Sigma, does really well in the competition, but her sentient yo-yo string strips Emperor Eddie, which is apparently a felony. The whole game you run into boss battles who are people who know Emperor Eddie, but they all slowly start to join your side. In the end, you beat Emperor Eddie, and you get sentenced to community service. Thank God. Okay, the cool part, the gameplay. This game is fantastic. Full stop. Listen, Rollin Rascal and Crumble are both very good. They're both momentum-based and have a lot of spins on that. But this game, it is also momentum-based, but it emphasizes combos. You use Penny's yo-yo to attack enemies, roll faster, swing in the air, dash, grab onto things, and you get plenty of power-ups. You get a better combo and a higher score the longer you stay using your yo-yo. And what does that mean? Swinging the yo-yo in the air, using it to dash, or using it to roll faster all keeps up your combo. The moment Penny's feet touch the ground, your combo is over. So do whatever you can to keep that from happening. Learning how to keep your score going is so much fun. Both timing and direction are needed here. This is exactly what a good platformer should be. Rewarding good movement with a higher score. It's absolutely fantastic. Seeing how far you can go without touching the ground in different scenarios is so much fun. You can go very far, maximizing how long you can last with the skills the game gives you. There's also challenges in every level, like collecting soda cans or delivering a meal to random people. Gives you a sense of something to accomplish along the way. Not to mention there are collectibles too, just like Spark 2 and 3. Spark 3 and Penny's Big Breakaway both do platformers in a very different way, but both of them are addictive. Spark 3 is speed-based, and it gives you so much control over that speed, whereas Penny's Big Breakaway is more about the different combos you can perform in a row. Both of these are seen in different Sonic games in different ways. Spark is definitely closer to a Sonic knockoff, but plenty of people talked about Penny's Big Breakaway being a Sonic clone doing it right. You know how you control Mario in Mario Odyssey, chaining movement with throwing your hat? Penny's Big Breakaway feels like a combination of Sonic and Mario Odyssey, combining the speed of Sonic to the movement of Mario. It's absolutely amazing. Don't waste any more time. Go play it now. My ranking of these games goes Spark 3, Penny's, Spark 2, Rollin Rascal, Spark 1, Crumble, and Taiwan Coolfox in a very far 7th place. None of the first 6 are bad games. Just because Crumble is in last place doesn't mean it's bad at all. But man, Spark 3 and Penny's are fucking amazing games. Alright, I got all 5 franchises. Is that ray gun done? Man, it has been so much fun in this universe. I'm gonna miss you, man. Yeah, tell me about it. Maybe someday, pal. Whoa! Holy guacamole! My Sonic collection! I can't believe this time studying video games actually helped me. Because, you know, usually it kind of has a negative effect on me, but this time, it finally... Wait a second, why is there a pumpkin here? Huh. Wait a second. What month is it? October! Halloween!